I'm not backing down until XRP hits $2,000, and no, this isn't a joke. A lot of people think I'm just messing around, but I'm dead serious. I don't know if you're fully grasping how incredible XRP is right now. We're hovering around $2.94 at the moment, so if we see a little dip, don't panic, it's just how the charts play out sometimes. That short-term noise doesn't matter. What does matter is the long-term vision for XRP and its true purpose. Now, if you've been around the XRP community for a while, you know we've seen some pretty wild and honestly fascinating predictions. One of them recently came from an account that's gotten a few calls right in the past. This person's forecast for 2025 and 2026 is bold. Bitcoin at $450,000, and I actually agree. I think that could easily happen by 2026. Ethereum at $43,000. Also realistic, in my opinion. But when it comes to XRP, this guy claimed it could reach $4,500, and that's where I disagree. Four-figure XRP before any kind of crash or global shift just seems way too far-fetched. Personally, I see XRP reaching $100 by next year, and that feels way more reasonable to me. Still, we can't ignore the possibility of some unpredictable catalyst, some white swan event, right? Anything's possible in this space. He also threw out a Dogecoin prediction, $57, which is just absurd. It's laughably high. But could Doge hit $5 to $10 by next year? Honestly, that doesn't seem too crazy anymore. And no, don't think we're just making this stuff up. There are actual analysts out there who believe XRP could one day be worth $1 million each. Sounds insane, right? But I'm not joking. Some people aren't just aiming for four-figure targets. We're talking 5 figures, $100,000. And yeah, even $1 million per XRP, the predictions are getting that wild. Now hold on, don't rule it out just yet. I know, $1 million per XRP sounds absolutely insane. But is it really that far-fetched? Remember when David Schwartz, yes, Ripple's own CTO, used $1 million XRP as an example of how it could actually make the ecosystem more efficient than keeping the price low? Here's the thing, this idea isn't some brand new fantasy. Within the XRP community, it's been circulating for a while. In fact, in a now viral clip, Quincy Jones, a developer with the XDC Foundation, laid out a theory where XRP could hit $100, $100,000, or even $1 million. Crazy, maybe, but how could that ever happen? Well, most people instantly scream, market cap. And yes, at face value, the numbers look absurd. But Quincy explained it differently. It's all about utility and the volume of assets running through the XRP ledger. If XRP becomes a true bridge asset for massive global value transfers acting as the middle layer between all financial instruments, then the price might need to scale to handle that level of volume and liquidity. So, is it impossible? Maybe not. Let's be clear, XRP isn't just a liquidity bridge. It's the bridge, the link between companies, banks, financial institutions, and more. It connects everyone. Think of it this way. When institution A wants to send money, maybe in USD, it gets converted into XRP, then instantly swapped into something like pesos or another currency on the other end. Arriving seamlessly at institution B that's real-time, cross-border value transfer, but it goes even deeper. XRP isn't limited to just currency. It can serve as a bridge for anything of value: stocks, bonds, commodities, even tokenized assets. That means the value of XRP could be tied directly to the scale of transactions happening on its network. Quincy Jones, again, developer in the space, gave a wild but fascinating scenario. Imagine $100 trillion in global equity and $500 million of that issued on the XRP ledger. That kind of usage could create a level of demand that sends XRP's price skyrocketing. Why? Because the value humans create is limitless. And if that value is being issued, exchanged, and bridged on XRP's network, then, theoretically, there's no cap to XRP's potential price. There's no ceiling. The limit doesn't exist. You guys get what I'm saying, right? Come on, think about it. Way too many people are just staring at the charts without really understanding what's happening beneath the surface. Most folks think XRP will top out somewhere in the higher single digits, maybe around $10. That's the common belief. But when you actually look at the chart patterns, the story tells a different tale. Let me break it down on the simplest way possible. You've got your consolidation. And boom, a pump. Another consolidation phase. What comes next? Another breakout? Now compare the previous highs to where the current setup is heading. Does a $10 peak really make sense here? It almost looks off, like it's being underestimated. From this view, it looks more likely that XRP could shoot even higher than people expect. And here's the kicker, while most of the public isn't paying attention, some major players are quietly stacking XRP like there's no tomorrow. Almost $1 billion USD worth of XRP is now held as corporate treasury assets, and that's excluding Ripple. Check this out. Trident Digital Tech is holding $500 million. Webis International has $300 million. Feeble Power International owns $100 million. Logistics Health is in with $50 million. Nature's Miracle has $20 million. Hyperscale Data, $10 million. Work Support has allocated a six-figure amount as well. We're following Bitcoin's playbook. Straight up. And guess what happens next? More companies will jump in. More treasuries will be holding XRP as a long-term bet. This is going to scale fast. The explosion hasn't even started yet. And this is all happening before the ETFs even launch. Just imagine that. Breaking news, the largest banking group in Japan, SBI Holdings, is preparing to roll out two brand new ETFs tied to Bitcoin, XRP, and gold. Why UPXRP is in the lineup? According to SBI, they're focused on developing products that meet the demands of this rapidly evolving asset management landscape. They're planning to introduce investment trusts and ETFs linked to crypto assets and gold, pending regulatory green lights. So what's the breakdown? Their proposed allocation is up to 51% in gold ETFs and as much as 49% in crypto ETFs like Bitcoin and XRP. You heard that right there in the official product proposal submitted to the Tokyo Stock Exchange. XRP is named alongside Bitcoin as part of the ETF plan. This is huge. Picture what happens when the global market wakes up and tries to scoop up XRP before the wealth transfer begins. Institutions will rush in, and while they're opening the door for retail, they're also trying to push us out. You can feel it. Some people got shaken out. Others held strong. And it doesn't stop there. Decode, a regulated institutional-grade custodian based in South Korea, has confirmed they'll be offering custody services for XRP. Can it be trusted? I don't know enough to give a solid judgment, but for anyone who doesn't want the stress of managing private keys or self-custody, this offers a more accessible route. Either way, this is a major sign of growing adoption, and it's only getting bigger. We want to see as much adoption and innovation as possible. The more, the better. It's a beautiful thing. But you want to know why I'm so sure XRP is headed to 4 digits? Honestly, it's simple because the signs have been there. For years, the so-called riddlers knew long ago. Mr. Poole, one of the most watched symbolic figures in the XRP community, just got confirmed again today. Here's how. According to Cold Gold Telegraph, the president of the NYSE is reportedly set to appoint a new Federal Reserve governor this week. That alone is big. But it gets even more interesting. Guess who's being backed for the role? Judy Shelton, a known gold standard advocate and former White House chief strategist under Trump, has publicly endorsed her. These are not random moves. These are big shifts happening quietly, and for those who've been paying attention to the breadcrumbs from people like Mr. Poole, it all lines up. We're in very interesting times, my friends. We were ahead of this because Mr. Poole called it first. For those who follow the clues, this is confirmation decoded. Back on July 16, 2027, Mr. Poole shared an image of Judy Shelton appearing to take an oath, possibly symbolizing her stepping into a major role. But becoming what exactly? That's the question. At the time, it seemed cryptic. But now, with her name emerging in real-world headlines as a contender for the Federal Reserve governor, it all starts to make sense. Another piece of the puzzle just clicked into place. This isn't just speculation anymore. The clues have been sitting in plain sight. All right, guys, this is big. President Trump just revealed that he's narrowed his shortlist for the next Federal Reserve chair down to 4 candidates. And yes, he says the final pick could be announced very soon. And if Judy Shelton ends up being confirmed as the new Fed chair, well, that's it. Game over. That's the final confirmation for the so-called riddlers, and the skeptics are done. It's the ultimate validation. You understand how huge this is, right? People are getting ruled out fast. Trump just confirmed that Besson is officially out of the race. He declined consideration. Why? Because he wasn't the chosen one. All signs now point to Judy Shelton. And if she takes the seat, remember, she said before, we're going back to the future in a crypto kind of way. Ultra bullish on crypto. It's based on everything she's hinted at. XRP is right at the center of that vision. Done. 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 Let's not forget what Mr. Poole posted back on August 6, 2022. Same date as today. By the way, an American flag, collapsing rice shredded into pieces, the fall of the U.S. system. That tweet was symbolic, maybe even prophetic. And who's behind the hourglass in his post? It looks a lot like Jerome Powell, doesn't it? Could be. Which leads us right back to the Fed. Now, here's where it gets even crazier. On August 6, David Schwartz also posted something explosive, literally. A symbolic tweet, potentially alluding to a collapse. 2 years apart? Same exact day? Is this all coincidence? Or are we being shown a pattern? And guess what today is? It's 5/8. 9, no joke. August the 8th month, the 5th day, and 9 representing the final digit in 2025. Now check this. Today is exactly 589 days since Bearable Guy's infamous riddle. What are the chances of that? Bearable Guy was first to drop the 589 symbolism. In one of his riddles, he sketched a whiteboard with mysterious symbols, and right at the top center, you guessed it, 589. The number 8 was stylized as a snake eating its own tail, symbol of destruction and rebirth. 589, collapse and reset. So when 589 strikes, it may be exciting, but also terrifying. Here's the kicker. Some believe that Mr. Poole was actually behind Bearable Guy 123 all along. Think about it. He moved the riddle frames. He built the layers in Photoshop. He was the mastermind behind the bear, the entire journey encoded, layer by layer. And now, we're watching the waves move again. August 5th, 8/5. Emergency codes. A wave engulfing everything. System being swallowed. The clues are all around us if you know where to look. It's not about nature. It's not just symbols. It's about the surface narrative and what lies beneath. Stay ready, because what's coming might just change everything.